Hi everyone, it's Jennifer Lively with CCPL's Tech Team, and in today's Tuesday Tech Tip, we're going to discuss default apps in Windows 10. It's particularly helpful to know how to change these default apps when it comes to your photos, files, your web browser of choice, and when viewing or trying to fill in PDFs. So we'll use those as examples today as we take a look at how to get into your settings and change default apps when needed. Stay tuned. So before we talk about changing the default app, it'll be helpful to understand what that even means. So I'm going to use my taskbar here to find File Explorer. We'll click on that File Explorer icon, the little yellow folder, and I'm going to move over to the navigation pane on the left and choose Documents. So we are currently in the Details view, which shows me the name, the date modified, and the type for each of my files. So looking through that type column, you can see that if I come across Books and Authors Trivia, I know that I'll need Microsoft PowerPoint in order to view that particular presentation. So each of these has an associated file type. Now for most of your Microsoft Office files, you won't be changing those, but when it comes to things like your PDFs, you'll see here Job Application. Currently, Microsoft Edge is going to be the default when opening that. That's just an example of one you might want to change. We could instead prefer Adobe Acrobat Reader. So I'll show you how you can make that change. Also, when you go over to your pictures, if you click here on the left, you'll see we have some pictures saved here, and there is a default Photos app for each of those. We'll take a look at how you could change which program or app opens those photos for you. So now that we've discussed those file types, we're going to close up File Explorer and move back down to our Start button here on the taskbar, where we'll click and find our Settings icon. Always looks like that little gear. Once we click on Settings, we can come right over here to the left where you see Apps and click. And first it is going to show us our apps and features in general. But on the left you can see Default Apps. Once we click there, there are some common ones already displayed. For instance, we mentioned Photos just a second ago. Photos, the Photos app for Windows 10 is the default app that would be used to view your photos, but as I click there, you'll see that other options are available. So I could choose to open my photos with Paint or with Snip and Sketch or some of the others that you see there. Photos for Windows 10 is a great app for editing, for viewing your photos, so we won't be making a change there. I can just click away from that and it will disappear. The other popular one I mentioned is your web browser. Microsoft Edge is the default for Windows 10, but as you tap there, you'll see that we have already downloaded two other options. Firefox by Mozilla and Google Chrome are both here. Now they did not come with our Windows 10 machine, but we went and found those and downloaded them to the computer to have them as options. So if I change my default web browser to Google Chrome here, you'll see that it makes that change. Sometimes Edge pops up and says, please don't leave us, but for now it's going to let us just make that change to Google Chrome. And that means, of course, I have options. I can open these anytime, both Edge or Chrome, and use whatever browser I'd like. But that default comes into play when you click on a link, and then Chrome would come in as the default browser to open that website. But like I said, these are only some of the common ones that you might like to change. Otherwise, you can come down to Choose Default Apps by File Type. And in just a moment, you'll see displayed on the left all of the different file types there. And you'll have those extensions represented. So you'll come down and you'll start seeing some of these. Now, you may have never seen some of these before and not know what they are, so change these very selectively. We're going to look for PDF, so I know that I need to move on down that list. I'm just going to scroll to do that, and here I see .pdf. That stands for Portable Document Format, and right now Microsoft Edge is my default viewer, meaning if I try to open a file, it's going to open through the browser. But if I click there, you'll see that I do have the option for Adobe Acrobat Reader instead. So I'm going to change that one to Adobe Acrobat Reader. And all that means is if I come down to my File Explorer again and back over to Documents, here where we have job application, the default app icon is now for Adobe. And when I double click to open it, in fact, Adobe does open. And now instead of just having the browser tools, I do see all of Adobe's tools over here too, including fill-in sign and some other really helpful things. Some of those are free, some of them are not. So I have that default changed. Now I can close that and it will remain changed on the computer until I come back and perhaps change my mind again. So I'll close File Explorer again. I'll remind you how we got here. We were gonna go right back here to Settings. We went into Apps and Default Apps to see those choices. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you'll remember that you can give us a call or shoot us an email, and we'd be happy to help you with any of the technology questions you may have. Hope to hear from you soon.